Hi guys, it's Steffi from the Novelty Corner and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with another Books Beside My Bed video. For those of you who are new here, I film one of these every week where I wrap up the last 7 days worth of reading. For those who are very familiar with the series, welcome back. It's kind of exciting. I think this is the 98th Books Beside My Bed video, which means very soon I'm going to hit 100 episodes of this particular series, which is kind of scary because I've nearly been doing this for an entire 2 years, which is kind of cool, but also scary. Not much has been happening this week, and in fact, this is probably going to be my only video that I upload this week just because of scheduling and I haven't been feeling 100%. So apologies if there are no more videos until next Sunday. If I can film something and upload it during the week, I will. This is my reading week from the 10th until the 17th of November. I read 8 books this week, pretty sure. Yeah, I think it's 8. 2,458 pages, and my yearly reading total is up to 337 books. I participated in 3 readathons this week: Tome, Topple, the Believathon, and the Bookemon Catchathon. Everything counts, guys, right? The first book that I read this week was Before the Devil Breaks You by Libba Bray. This is book 3 in the Diviner series. It is a 2017 release from Allen and Unwin, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I actually listened to the audiobook for this, and this was definitely part of Tome Topple. It is huge. The 4th book, The King of Crows, comes out early next year. I have requested a review copy, but I don't know if I'll get it. But I'm very, very eagerly awaiting the 4th book since I fell down the rabbit hole with this series and now I am just obsessed. It is set in a sort of an alternative 1920s New York, and it is all about a supernatural world that is sort of overlaid over the historical New York. And you have a group of young adult slash new adult teenagers who are gifted with the abilities that make them diviners. And in this book, we actually find out how and why that all happened. So it is a really interesting story. I don't really want to talk too much about it because it is book 3 and the penultimate book in a series. But if you like historical urban fantasy stories, then this is definitely something worth checking out. I have really, really enjoyed it, and the audiobooks are fantastic. Then I read Diamond Fire by Ilona Andrews. This is book 3.5. It's a novella that takes place between the first 3 books of the Hidden Legacy series and the sort of the next stage of the Hidden Legacy series, which switches character perspectives. It was published by Avon Impulse and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. In Diamond Fire, Nevada and Mad Rogan are getting married, and as such, all of Mad Rogan's extended magical family are present and causing absolute mayhem. And in this novella, we actually do switch perspectives. It begins with, I think, 2 or 3 chapters from Nevada's perspective, and then it is entirely from Catalina's perspective. Catalina is Nevada's sister and quite a powerful magical prime herself. And she's tasked with finding a missing, I think it's almost like a tiara thing that Rogan's mother would like Nevada to wear for the wedding, but it's gone missing and the stone in it is irreplaceable. And Catalina is tasked with finding it, and it is just a fun way to sort of be introduced to Catalina as her own main character of a story before you get into Sapphire Flames. And then I did read Sapphire Flames, which was my TBR game pick for the week. I have not written the fanfic yet. Like I said, it's just been an insane week and I've got report writing, so it is coming. I will let you guys know as soon as I have done that. It will probably go up on my blog. Sapphire Flames is a 2017 release from Avon Impulse. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It is book 4 in the Hidden Legacy series by Ilona Andrews, and I love this. I actually think I liked reading from Catalina's perspective more than I liked the Nevada stories. This takes place a little while after Diamond Fire, and Catalina has risen to the rank of House Prime for House Baylor. We get sort of a Cliff Notes version of why that happened, and it's all very plausible. And Catalina, it doesn't sit easy on Catalina's shoulders, but she's taken it on, and she's now also helping to run the detective agency that their family has set up. And then she helps out a friend, and we actually meet this friend in Diamond Fire, so it's a really good reason to read the novella before you read Sapphire Flames. She's asked to help out a friend whose brother is about to jump off a building, and she goes, she helps the situation, and then she finds out why the brother was on the roof in the first place, and that's because half of his family has been murdered and no one is looking into it. Catalina knows that she probably shouldn't take the case, but she does because she thinks that it's the right thing to do, and as such she finds herself embroiled in a lot of the house politics. Enter Alessandro, who is a very mysterious character at the beginning. He was actually the magical user who tested Catalina during her trials in the 3rd book of the Hidden Legacy series, and she has a massive crush on him, but thinks him way out of her league, and everyone teases her about it, and then suddenly he keeps popping up at opportune moments throughout this story and she can't get a read on him and why he's doing it. It is just great. The banter they have is fantastic, and I am looking forward to future books in this series. Then I read A Long Walk to Water by Linda Sue Park. I read this for the Believathon for the Challenge to Read a Book Set in the Past. This is a dual narrative story, and I'll talk more about that in just a moment. This edition was published in 2010 by the University of Queensland Press, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. As I said, it's a dual perspective narrative. It is based off a true story and a true person. At the beginning of each chapter, we get a little snippet of the life of a young girl called Naya living in southern Sudan in 2008, and that begins each chapter. Then the chapter goes into the story of Selva, who I think is about 11 or 12 at the beginning of his story, but his story takes place in begins in 1985 and then travels to him to almost the present day. Selva also lives in southern Sudan, a different tribe to Naya. Selva's story really delves into what it was like to live in southern Sudan with so much fighting, and how he basically had to flee his home and ended up in refugee camps and trying to reconnect with his family. Naya's story is sort of the modern day version of that, where times are tough and she can't go to school because she spends her time walking to water and to collect it for her family, even though that water is making some of the people in the village sick. It was a really insightful look into what this time must have been like, and I'm really glad that I read it. I was a bit apprehensive going into it. I didn't know how I would feel about it, but I'm so glad that I read it. Then I read Your Dream Life Starts Here by Christina Carlson. Christina Carlson is the founder of Kiki K. This is the book that she put out in 2018 through Kiki K, and I'm not going to give it a rating. It's sort of a self-help book that sort of gets you to work through how to achieve your dreams. There's a whole lot of exercises and things in here which I haven't done yet, but I have marked them so that I can go back and do them in the future. Lots of really inspirational stories, lots of great quotes, lots of really great ideas, and the activities, there are some of them that I'm really looking forward to doing. This would actually make a really nice gift for people who are looking at planning out what they would like to do in the future and setting big dreams. This was part of my book haul revisited for November and December. Then I read Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab. This is book 2 in the Cassidy Blake series. It is a 2019 release from Scholastic, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Cassidy and her family have moved on from Scotland and travelled to Paris as her family, or her parents, who are the inspectors, a former writing duo turned documentarians about the spooky and paranormal, decide to film in the city of Paris. Cassidy is, of course, followed by her ghost friend Jacob, who is her sidekick slash not sidekick. I don't think he likes being called a sidekick. They stumble across the ghost of a young boy who is quite malevolent, and very weird, strange, crazy things begin happening all around Paris, and it's up to Cassidy to try and find out what happened to this boy and help him to move on. It was creepy, it was a quick read, it was entertaining, and I enjoyed it. Then I reread Her Naughty Holiday by Tiffany Reese. This is book 2 of the Men at Work series, and it is the Thanksgiving version, which I thought was appropriate. It's November, so I've just been rereading them according to the months. This is my favourite of the 3 books in the series. It is a 2016 release from Mills and Boon Blaze, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars again. It follows a 30-year-old woman called Clover who owns her own nursery business, and she's doing really, really well. She's really successful. She has a young employee who happens to be the daughter of a man named Eric. And basically Clover and Eric are set up by the daughter, as Clover needs someone to play fake boyfriend for her family, who have told her that they're coming over for Thanksgiving. Her family's quite overbearing and very difficult to deal with. Eric agrees to play fake boyfriend, and it is very much one of those fake boyfriend trope, very quick, very convenient romances. This is only a novella length, so things move really, really quickly. What I like about this particular novella is just how smart the writing is, and how quick the banter is, and how relaxed Eric is as a main character. He is sort of an alpha character, but he's not an overbearing one at all. And he is very, very concerned about how Clover is feeling throughout everything. And I really appreciate that. And the way he stands up for her at Thanksgiving dinner is awesome. I loved it. And that's why it's my favorite of the series. The last book I read this week was Frostheart by Jamie Littler. This is the group book pick for the Believathon. And I also read it for the challenge to read a book featuring myths or legends, because one of the side characters in this is a Yeti and appears quite often throughout the story. It is a 2019 release from Puffin Books and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It is the story of Ash, who is a young boy who's a bit of an outsider in his village. It is a fantasy setting. And this is a world that is besieged by big scary monsters called Leviathans, who basically really stop people from traveling anywhere outside of their village because they attack anything that moves on the ice. They sing a really terrible song and it's quite scary, but Ash is actually able to understand them. He understands their song and he can also sing the song back. However, singing and music has really been banned by the villagers because they believe that it's connected to the Leviathans and that the people who can sing and can understand the Leviathans will then turn on the villagers. Ash is under the care of a Yeti guardian who is training him to survive, and then something unthinkable happens and Ash is exiled. He leaves with a group of, oh, I've forgotten what they're called. I've forgotten the name. They're travelers and they basically travel around the world visiting the different villages and bringing them food and supplies, and it's quite a dangerous job. But he is taken aboard as a crew member there, and so is his Yeti guardian, Tobu, and the story sort of takes off from there as Ash tries to uncover who he is and what he is capable of doing. It is a really delightfully fun middle grade fantasy book, and if you enjoy your fantasy books, you'll probably enjoy this. So those are just some of the books that I've read this week. I'm really quickly going to do my TBR game pick for the week, just because, you know, if I don't have videos, I should at least do something else. Okay, so here are the cards. I am not looking. What's this one? Own Voices. Okay, so I think the only official Own Voices book that I have on my TBR for the next couple of months. I do have others on my shelf, but these are the ones that I just need to get to before the end of the year. I think it is A Blade So Black by L.L. McKinney, which is totally fine because I really want to read this. I think this is like, sort of like an Alice in Wonderland retelling. And my challenge for this will be to design a bookmark. Okay. Well, actually, if I can do that this week, then that will be another video. Yeah, I can do that. I think that'll work. So I'm going to read A Blade So Black and design a bookmark. Clearly, I'm really good at picking different challenges for this, but I didn't look, I swear. If you have read any of the books that I've read this week or you are planning on reading them, let me know in the comments and I'd love to know your thoughts on them. Otherwise, let me know what you have been reading over the last 7 days. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you are having a wonderful day and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.